Should I start trying to do a little bit of iCloud Andy to show you guys about my trip before we get into games? All right. Here we go. This is them. My dad looks so happy to be here. My parents look so happy to have arrived in the country. They look so excited to travel around with Ellis for the next 2 weeks. He wouldn't be tired for such a long ass flight. That's true. It's 12 hours. But now look, but I took them the food the first day, and then he was excited to be here. Okay, the first place I took my parents, I wanted to keep their expectations low of Japan. So the first place I took my parents was Shibuya. I took them to the dirtiest place in Tokyo. Actually, that's like an in-between Shibuya and Kabukicho Shinjuku kind of thing. But I took them to the dog. But even my parents have heard about the dog. So I took them dogging right away. They're smiling in this picture. But as soon as I took the picture and I walked up to them to show them the picture, they're like, wow, it smells like shit here. And it's true. Oh, I took a picture of this because Kate used to work here. Part-time. I don't know, she's probably gone now. But basically the first thing I ever did in Japan, or when I came to Japan in 2014 for the first time, one of the first things I did was go to Shibuya Crossing to the Starbucks that overlooks it and take one of these. But this was the very first thing I ever did in Japan, and then my dad started doing the same exact thing. Yeah, that's nice Starbucks. Like son, like father. So I took them there, and then I took them to Ikebukuro afterward because Sayaka-san and Meiji and Kajimochi and another friend of mine were cosplaying Chainsaw Man at Acosta, and I had to go because they invited me to come like hang out and watch for a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar with Kajimochi. Hold on, he does reels like this.
Sakura mochi. Last time we made Tanjiro's castella, but this time you guys wanted sakura mochi. First, pick up some mochi kome, sweet rice. Measure
he's
one
like super
cup,
big.
give it a
He
wash,
makes these
and
kind
let
of
it soak
videos all
for
the time.
about an hour. Next, pick up some azuki bean paste and roll them into balls. Like we always do. Why does everything I make have balls? Once that's done, we can head back to the rice. Strain it and add 3/4 cup of water. And of course, our special ingredient, 1 drop of red food dye. Cover it with plastic wrap and microwave for 6 to 9 minutes, depending on the microwave you have. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and mush it up. Give it a good beating. Once soft, use plastic wrap to begin shaping the mochi. Lastly, you need pickled sakura leaves. Tuck in that sweet rice ball like it's bedtime, and boom. Sakura mochi, baby. I want to bite it, but it just looks so pretty.
Yeah, anyway, this is basically what he does, and he's pretty up there, and he was just in a poach in the costume with a full bodysuit and like a chainsaw that he just hold up to his butt and like googly eyes. And Sayaka-san was Power, and our friend Alex was Makima. But I basically, okay, so I took my parents to Ikebukuro, and I told them, like, I already told them this in advance, like way in advance, but I have something that I need to do for like half an hour. So here's an air-conditioned shopping mall. Have at it. And then my parents just went shopping, and they were like fine with it because they liked the air conditioning. And I went on the roof of that shopping center, which is where this cosplay event was. Oh, this is really good too. Met a random dude who's like a really good one. He brought props. He had a fucking flask. He brought like a toy gun and like a knife. What's this guy's name again? Yeah, so we just randomly saw this guy, and he was like, yo, Chainsaw Man? And he's Japanese, and we were like, oh, Chainsaw Man. And then they just like took pictures, which was cool. So good, dude. Kishibe is his name. Kishibe. Fuck, how did I forget that? And we kept making him do this pose randomly in different places. Oh, and if you didn't know, for those of you that know, this is the stairs from these are the stairs from My Dress Up Darling during right after the cosplay on the roof scene, when they go down and take a break, and it's the boob sweat scene. And if you know, you know. It was on these stairs. Dude, we made him do such creepy shit. We were like do the scene where Power's looking next to the vending machines. It was so hot this day. So we went to Asakusa. We did So mama to papa. We did the speed run. So we went to Asakusa, got someone to take a photo of us. And then after that, we went to Skytree. And then my dad is afraid of heights. He was like, I am not going up there. I'm like, yo, what did I bring you for if you don't go? So I brought him up anyway. Oh look, is that Mount Fuji in the back? So Fuji-sama mieteta, sonohi. Tokyo is huge. Took a selfie with my mom. I don't know why I look so, I don't know why we look so sad in this picture. And then I took them to Ueno Park. If you squint hard enough, you're able to see Ellis' home way back into the horizon. Dude, they legit had my station on one of the labels on top. And then my dad was like, yo, you live so far from Tokyo. I'm like, no, I'm right outside it. Don't be like my chat. They liked the park a lot. I don't know what my dad was concerned about here. The fountain had like a little show, so I made them get up and take a picture. So I took them to the lake, but the Mount Fuji was like behind clouds, so you couldn't see shit. Classic Fujisan. So that was the first day. We even drove up to it, to the 5th station, to try to you know, see it, and we couldn't. Oh yeah, and then I took my parents to, since we couldn't see Mount Fuji that day, I took my parents to go to a, so if you don't know this is called hoto. So hoto is like, it's like in a metal pot, and it's like kind of similar to udon, but it's like slightly different, and there's tons of like different vegetables and meats and stuff in it. It's like nabe. Yeah, it's like kind of like a nabe with noodles in it. And this place was super cool. So the next day it was super clear, but we had to drive over to the other lake. So if you guys didn't know, around Mount Fuji there's 5 lakes. The 2 most famous ones are Kawaguchiko and Yamanaka-ko. So we stayed near Kawaguchiko and we couldn't see Fujisan at all. But then we went to Yamanaka-ko and it was like super duper clear. You make it by experience in Yamanashi. なるほどね。今度ちょっと調べよう。次行くときに作ってみたい。Here we go. After this view, we woke up in the morning. We drove over to Yamanaka-ko. So this is the lake, the second most famous lake next to Mount Fuji. Water was kind of nice, but a cloud was coming over. So tons of people are climbing that right now. It's the middle of the summer, so there's no snow on top. So after that, we drove down, and we went towards Hakone, or Hakone, if you've heard of that. And so it's let me actually show you where this is. So if Mount Fuji is over here, with the lake surrounding it, Yamanaka-ko is right here. Kawaguchiko is where I was talking about before. We drove down, and then Hakone is over here with Lake Ashi. So we drove down and then we went around Hakone a little bit. Yeah, so Mount Hakone is over here or something like that. And next there's like a big lake, and the surrounding areas are really, really pretty. So this is the lake that I was just talking about. And from Hakone, because it's so close, you can still see Mount Fuji over there. Yo, in the middle of the lake, they have a pirate ship. So basically the One Piece is real. And it's within Lake Ashi. At first I was like, nah, we won't get on the ship. Then my mom was like, I want to get on the ship. I'm like, okay, I guess we're getting on the ship. So it goes from one side of the lake to the other. So there's like a few checkpoints. There's like 3 or 4. So you start over here on Togendai Port or whatever is where we were. We started, so it went down across the whole thing. And then we end up like over to this town area with restaurants and stuff. It stops over here once, and then it goes all the way back. So we basically went over here, checked out this area, went over here, we didn't check it out, we stayed on the ship. And we just continued it and went all the way back. But it was like really cool the entire way. Do the Titanic pose? The thing is I need a partner to do that. Yeah, it's the Yuta Camp song. This is us arriving to the other port. And over here, I think there's a torii gate on the water. What, did I not fucking film it? This is just us arriving. There's a tour gate on the water over there randomly. So that was cool. Dude, and then I spotted it. As soon as we got to the other port and I went inside, bam! Hakone, officially my favorite destination of the trip. There's an anime girl, I'm sold, we're in. Anime is real. So if you guys didn't know, they're basically around different famous onsen places around Japan. They made like a series of like onsen musume, I think it's called, or something like that. Yeah, onsen musume. So each famous onsen area has a different specific character or a different specific waifu that they have. This one is, I think, what's one? Saya? I think this one's Saya, right? Yeah, it's Saya. So Ryo went to Kawaguchiko, and he found this one. This is the one near Mount Fuji at Kawaguchiko, and I sent him and he told me about this like onsen musume thing. Cause you know why he took this? I don't know if I should be proud of this, but he specifically was there on a date with his girlfriend, and he took this photo to send it to me. Because when he saw this anime girl, he thought of me. Is that a good thing? So I took this and I was like, thought of you. I took the Hakone one, and then he's like, I appreciate it, but sorry, bro. Kawaguchiko waifu's like a country mile better than Hakone. I'm like, oh, well. They have a music video? No, there she is. No, there's the torii gate. There's the torii gate from Hakone. I'm trying to recognize where each one is, honestly, but I can't tell more than Saya's. They have a beach episode, but their own onsen musume. My immersion is ruined. We're getting the fuck out of there. And then after we ate some food as well. We got some chicken tempura. But this was so scenic. I loved it. Me and my parents. It started raining. Yeah, it's super pretty. Mount Fuji over there, by the way. It was like raining, so it was super scenic. And then, oh yeah, we were getting ready to get on the next pirate ship. Oh yeah, I gave a little tour of the ship on this one. Here, let me show you guys. Ship generally looks like something from One Piece. Look at all these happy families and couples. Must be nice to be happy. Those are my parents. Sink the ship. There's like a random throne for some reason. I was like, what the f... A seat fit for me. Want videos? I can DM if you like. I think I'm okay. I think I took a bunch of videos as well. The seat for the Koi King. Throne for the single person. I'll take it. Sorry, same. Maidenless, honestly. Please note there's no trash cans on the ship. Yeah, like the rest of Japan, right? Would it be cool if the sails actually worked? Yeah, that's true. It was definitely motor powered, but I think it would take sometimes forever if there was no wind. So this is from the onsen musume thing with the torii gate. And then here's the torii gate in real life. Anime's real! Let's go! Oh yeah, the wind got fucking crazy though, so it's super windy today. But this was cool. But we had a rental car, so after we drove around, so basically we went across, had lunch over here, and then went back around, and then drove around and went to the shrine, which has the torii gate. I'll show you a little bit. So then yeah, we took the ship back. We got back into the car. We drove around, and then we got back. We went to Hakone Shrine. So this is the entrance to it. It's my parents. It's still okay. There were big trees though, which was dope. Look at these big trees. cool little steps that go up to the shrine as well. This is my mom. Super neat, super neat. It's my dad. My dad always looks like he's concerned about something. What is my son doing in Japan? Why does he like anime so much? Yeah, this is cool to go up. Here's the entrance to Hakone Shrine. Shrine areas was super dope. This must be me and my parents going down. And then at the end of these steps, if you go all the way down, at the end of the steps is the Torii Gate on the water. But people are like lining up to take pictures with this thing. So I'm like, I think I'm good. I'll just take it from afar. This is good enough. Oh, and then we went to IKEA. Hedge. Hey, look. It's the couch I bought. Look at this. Boom. Boom. Sweden. Yo, it's Carl's house. Yo, we found him. Oh, and then the next day, basically me and Linkable went to Team Labs. But on the way, I saw this, I'm like, dude, why is Sweden taking over my life? Okay, I don't want to show all of Team Labs because if you come to Tokyo, chances are you might want to visit it yourself. And I don't want to spoil the entire thing, but I'll show maybe a few of the exhibits. So, one thing that was kind of funny to me, so before it was Team Lab, what was it? Team Lab something. It was a different Team Labs, but that closed. Borderless, that's the one. It was that, but it changed and changed it to planets. And I don't know why, but this Team Lab planets is so feet centric. If you have a foot fetish, this is your exhibit. Like you're hummy, but I'm completely 100% serious. To go into this one, you have to take off your shoes and socks. It's straight up a foot fetish, like a foot fetish enthusiast's dream. Look at that. Hey, free feet. That was your preview, right? On my feet OnlyFans. Oh yeah, and wear shorts too. Don't go with long pants that you can't roll up. You're like walking bare feet through like rivers and shit. And then, so this is the shallow area, right? So you're still fine if you have pants. But then there's like a fucking... Oh yeah, there's like this one too. This was pretty trippy. I wish I were on drugs, man. I regretted wearing long pants to this. You're in knee-deep water.
Alright, well there it goes.
Wait, you hear that chuckle? That was linkable. You ready to hear it again? That was linkable. You like that chuckle?
Well, that's okay.
My pants are done, dude. There's a lot of places with like mirrors on the ground. So, like, they have like a special changing room for girls who came in skirts, where they'll give you like a pair of shorts for free to go for the exhibit, because it's like a straight up mirror on the ground. So one of the warnings they put at the beginning is like, if you go through this in a skirt, there's a chance people will see your pantsu. Oh, this was my favorite exhibit, where they had it's basically like a big flower planetarium area where you just lay on the ground and look up. And it's supposed to be space, but with giant flower petals just like going through. Yeah, that was super nice. This was my favorite part. Here's a better video. You're just laying on the ground looking up at this. If someone was like on LSD, they would be losing their minds. There's this area with like alien eggs and stuff. Oh my god, and then the next day, my uncle showed up. We went to Onyasai, which is like a shabu shabu place. And it's like all you can eat meat and stuff. We just got a bunch of stuff and put in the nabe, and it was good. The next day, I took my parents basically to Harajuku. I took them down Takeshita Street, and here's a picture of me as a kid. And there's the fuckboy of San Jose over there. There's my brother. How do you look exactly the same? I don't. I look at me. You see the light and hope in my eyes back then? It's gone now. I'm left as a soulless man, just sitting in his apartment in Japan. And then after Takeshita Street, we did the natural thing and we walked over to Meiji Jingu Shrine. There's my parents. Here's the shrine itself. There's my parents again. How am I not ready for my own selfie? But we ate a bunch of meat. We showed up. Me and David and our friends showed up together. Super Sonic was there too. Jason. We ate a bunch of meat and craft beer, which is dope. Some of the names of the craft beer was pretty funny. Hold on, let me show you. This was part of the menu, and one of the items was called Stream Phobia. I got that drink first. Was it tasty? Yeah, I enjoyed it. A lot of these craft beers are really, really tasty. And they had like nuts names, dude. How much does Infinity cost? All the pint. It was. So the price. I mean, it's craft beer, so it's more expensive than you'd think. It's like a half pint is 990 yen, and a pint was. So like there was no reason to get a half pint unless you wanted to try a bunch of different ones. I just always got a pint every time because it's like 300 yen more for like double. So. That's not, yeah, for craft beer, it's okay in Japan. But if you get paid in yen, it's like, you know. Yeah, well, if you get paid in yen, you're just fucked. There's no more to say about that. The next day, we got on the bullet train and we headed over to Kyoto. So the Kyoto streets, I really like how the streets look in Kyoto. Of course, they try to go for more of the traditional Japanese aesthetic with the lamps and stuff. And it's hard to see because it's during the day, they're not lit up yet. There's some cool buildings here and stuff. Yeah, some good stuff here. Just walking around the streets, just take some pictures. Oh, and then we got some yakiniku, which was really good. Because we went to like a, you know, because I'm not necessarily paying because my parents are there and they're just like, oh, we'll take care of it. So I was like, oh, let's go to this nice yakiniku place. And my parents are like, oh, we don't have to tip here? Oh, everything's everything's cheaper here than eating in America. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's go to the nice place. And it was very delicious. Listen to that. Oh, I want to go back. It was so good. Because usually, you know, right? Because I'm paid in yen, I go to like the cheapo. In fact, tomorrow we might go to a cheapo one. I usually go to like the cheapo yakiniku places that give you like as much volume of meat as you can for as little price. So it's like, it's less quality. For my peasant palate, I really don't care, but the texture and how much it melts in your mouth and how much fat it is and marbling is way different in a place that actually knows what they're doing. Not knows what they're doing, as in like that has like more expensive supplies. So ate there and then just walked around a little bit more before. This is kind of like the main. This is like not Shijo. It's Karasuma or something like that, or by the Gion area, which has like a lot of like really lit up streets like this with a lot of shopping and stuff. It's like downtown Kyoto. So we only went to Kyoto a lot, and then Nara, and then I'm the only one that went to Osaka for a little bit. So I couldn't even take my parents over there. To meet a friend. Yo, Infinity, were you there at the beginning when I explained? It was the student that is pursuing a career that uses English now. That I taught back in, yeah, it was that person. But this area is really cool, because next to this is called the I think it's the Koma River or something like that. Some cool buildings over here. I think they do like kabuki or some other theater performances in there. Oh my god, I love this. So there's a street on this side that's really cool, and I walked down it and I took videos, so we'll see in a little bit. But they have seats on the terrace over here that overlooks the river, and it's so neat. And over here at night, people just take booze or snacks and stuff and sit over there with their friends or with their significant others and just chills by the river. Okay, this is the beginning of the street, I think. Maybe? Yeah. But this street is super duper neat. There's a lot of people going down all the time, but it's like lots of like restaurants on the right and on the left, and it's all preserves the vibe of like old Kyoto and stuff like that. It's really really cool. And then down one of these alleys actually is I'm sure you've heard of Kichi Kichi Omurice. I think Rob went, yeah. It's down one of those alleys on this street. Yeah, the Kichi Kichi dude. But this whole street is so cool. I love it. Lots of bars and stuff too. Very, very worth walking down this. I forgot what the street's called. Why did I zoom in on that? Yeah, very cool. And each one of these places is a different restaurant and stuff. Like some of them are really, really popular, so you have to like book way in advance and stuff like that. It was such a vibe, man, sitting next to this river. I wish, you know, it makes me want to go back with friends and stuff because my parents don't drink anymore, and I would rather die than drink with my uncle. So I was just a lot of time when my parents were going back to the hotel to rest or stuff like that, I would just wander around by myself, which, you know, is fine and chill and stuff, and it's nice going solo sometimes. But I wanted to like chill there with a friend and just like talk and like sip a drink or something. But there's so many cool streets with good vibes and stuff like that. So I ended up taking a lot of videos and just walking around and kind of exploring on my own. Like at night and stuff when everything was like chill and died down. If you go away from the city center for a little bit, it's very quiet everywhere. So you're just walking around and you're just like there's just random creeks everywhere. And you're like it's just yourself and your thoughts, and it's like really, really nice. Next day, I took them to continue their speed run of Kyoto, which means, or speed run of Japan, which means going to all the super duper famous typical spots in Kyoto, which means the first stop, it's because it's close to our hotel, was Kiyomizudera. So going up this, you have to walk up like a huge hill. Lots of different shops and everyone's there. There's a lot of people. But honestly, I expected it to be worse. But every school in the fucking country was on a school trip that day. There were so many students. Here's Kyoto. Chances are if you go to Kyoto, you end up here with my parents. Honestly, better than I expected it to be more filled up. So I was pleasantly surprised with how not many tourists. I mean, there's still a lot of tourists, but there's a lot of just school trips. And then if you go along a little more, you can take this. This is the iconic picture of Kiyomizudera. There's Kyoto Tower over there. And then during the fall, when the leaves turn red and shit, it's so nice. There we go. I got the lighting finally. And then a couple of days out of the year, they let people go in at night and they light up all the leaves and stuff with lighting, and it's like really, really neat. The quintuplets go here too, if you care about that. Oh yeah, and then I line up for this thing, which is like sacred water or whatever. There's a koi pond here, so you know I had to do it. I had to zoom in, because it's my brand. Looks dead, the koi. It moved a little bit. Oh, I thought this was so cute. Look at these guys. Look at the faces. Yeah, this is Twitch chat. And our next destination is this, what's it called? Yeah, Kenninji. I think it's one of the oldest ones. One of the oldest Zen temples in Kyoto. And the road looks like this. It's super duper neat. So within this main temple area, the art on the ceiling is so wicked, dude. On the inside, when you go in, they have the famous wind god and thunder god drawing over here, or painting. Sorry, the super famous one. And then they have a bunch of these Zen areas where you sit and you just think about life. Like this, right? This was super dope. But it's very, very Zen. They have like different rooms that you can look into like this. I really recommend this place. It's not something that everyone goes to, but it's something that I would really recommend going to. It's so peaceful and quiet. So you basically just sit here in this tatami room. You look towards these three rocks and you just think to yourself. You just think about your life, You think about where you're going. You think about like your existence. Like for me, for example, right? I sat here and I was like, oh man, what am I doing with my life? All I do every 2 days is sit in front of a video camera, play games really badly, and occasionally dance. What did I even come to Japan for? God, I fucking love anime. And then over here, they have this really, really cool garden with like the Zen gardens, which you see. There's the really famous one called Ryoanji, which is near the Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji. But this one is like just off by itself, and it's kind of lesser known, so you can just come over here and chill and sit on the edge of this wooden area too. My question is, how do they rake this without leaving footsteps or footprints? It's kind of crazy. You walk in front of the rake. This is why you're more successful in life than I am, right? Hef. You're much smarter than I am. It's my parents. Oh my god! And then in the main temple, look at this ceiling art. It's gigantic. Like the picture doesn't do it justice. When you walk into here and you look up, it's just insane. I think I've shown this on stream before. But it's just super sick. It's double dragons. And it's just on the ceiling, dude. It's so neat here. You kind of get more of the scale when you look at it in a video. Yakuza back tattoos? Yeah, maybe, right? Here's the temple with the Buddha thing, and then all of the ceiling is this. It's so cool. And then when you're leaving Kenninji, by the way, you end up in Gion. So you end up going down this like super cool street as well. Where I think a lot of these restaurants you can't get into unless you like know someone there, or like have a really early reservation. So it's like a nice route to go to as well. Oh, I took these Miffy pictures because of Kate, but she already went to sleep. Oh, and then we went to the Golden Pavilion because I had to give them the speed run, But that's pretty as always. It started raining at some point. My parents. Yeah, you can see the rain in here. Like, this is such a cool ambience. I loved it. Hold on, let me try to get. Hold on. Oh, I love that. It's so good. We just listen to this honestly because it's good. It's One Summer's Day from Spirited Away. Let me share it. Oh, I loved the rain. I'm honestly really glad it started raining while we were there, because it was fine the rest of the day. It was just when we were at Kinkakuji that it started raining. And with the you can see like the water droplets on the pond and everything. Dude, it fits everything. It fits everything in Kyoto. I love it. Dude, and then they had this thing where you like try to throw your money into this little jar or one over here. I missed both of them because my aim in real life is the same as my aim in Valorant and CS. I tried to get my parents to go to the bamboo forest that you told me about, the one that has no one. But I told them it's like a 20-something minute walk from the station, and it's kind of far away. And they were like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, okay, my bad. Fuck me then." So I just went to the Arashiyama one instead, because, if I'm just doing the speedrun, then fuck it. Bamboo forest in Arashiyama. It would be nicer if there's less people, but there's a lot of people. Honestly, this area is still not too bad. But there's an area like further up where the actual bamboo forest is. Okay, here's the entrance to the bamboo forest, and this is when it started getting filled with people. But it's still nice, Yeah, and then further down, it kind of got crowded with everyone, which is typical for this bamboo forest because everyone's trying to see it, right? It's kind of cool because if wind comes through, then they'll start turning. Then my dumbass walks up. What the fuck am I doing? I probably look like a fucking idiot. This guy recording vertically on his phone, walking up to a bunch of fans and blowing on them. And if anyone was behind me, they'd be like, "What is this? What is this guy doing?" Oh, there's another Miffy store, so I took a picture for Kate. But Arashiyama is like really, really neat. There's this bridge that's super famous. With the river over here with the little waterfall. It's super, super nice. Genshin ruined me. I saw these fucking cranes. I'm like, oh man, if I shoot them with a bow and arrow, that's two foul meats each. But yeah, that was basically my Kyoto speedrun. Very nice. Went, got some food with the parents afterward. And then they went home and I just hung out by the river again, kind of. Everyone's just chilling. Some people bring like guitars and just jam over there, man. It's like super cool. I loved this area. This is like later at night when the restaurants close and stuff. Oh, and then I found this sick bar. It was called the Bee's Knees. And it was like a really, really cool cocktail bar. And they were pros, man. The drinks were so good. It was a little more on the expensive side, but the drinks were so, so good. This guy was a homie. He like added me on Instagram afterward. This one's called like the Ninja Smash or some shit like that.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Sitting next to some guys from, they came over from China, and they worked for Nvidia. Can you elaborate further on expensive? Each drink was like, 1,500, 1,600 yen, which is like, it's like 11 USD, or something like that. Maybe like 9 or 10 euro. If for Japan, it's for sure expensive, if for one drink. But the cocktails were delicious. And it was really cool watching them make it. They definitely knew what they were doing. Oh, and then the next day, my parents, we were supposed to go to Osaka, all right? The next day. But my mom was like, I'm too tired to go to a big city where it's like, you know, it's all walking around cities. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to Nara instead. I'll go for it. If you have the crackers, they'll just nibble on every piece of your clothing. There were like so many people on school trips and all the kids were like running away from the deer and stuff. It was funny. Yeah, everyone's trying to escape and shit. Nice little area.
Yeah.
It's just like running seems like the worst thing to do. Not necessarily. If you're not fast enough, they get tired of running around because they're so used to the humans. They're like, okay, someone else will feed us, and then they give up. What are you looking at? And then we went over to the Todaiji, which is like the giant Buddha that they have over there. That's super old. Like the picture doesn't like really emphasize how big this thing actually is. It is gigantic. Yeah, it's nice. Little history. It's how it used to look like. But this is like the destination for you to go on a school trip to. Dude, I have a story to tell. When I first came here to Japan, I went to Nara with my travel group or whatever that was like part of my university. It's 2014. I was like 19 years old or some shit like that. Or maybe I was still 18. I don't know. But on this very walkway, my entire group was like made of foreigners, right? Sometimes for the school trips, the students have like little assignments or little like, you know, checklists or scavenger hunts they have to do. And sometimes one of those things is getting a picture with a group of foreigners or getting a picture with a foreigner or something like that. So some middle schoolers or high schoolers, I forgot what it was. They walked up to our group. They asked us, "Shashin, picture, okay?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." And then so they wanted a picture with foreigners, right? And then they handed their camera to me. I'm like, wait, but I'm a gaijin too, but I don't look like it. So they thought I was Japanese. They're like, can you please take a picture? I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'm not in the gaijin picture. Cool. I think with that. Oh, and then that night I went to Osaka to meet the student. This is me on the way to Osaka. This very, very peaceful train ride over. So those of you that missed the story or something, I basically had I taught English in Ehime Prefecture for 2 years, and one of my students contacted me and said, "Yo, you're in Kansai right now, right? I'm in Osaka, and I'm going to a vocational school to be able to work in an airport because I want because your classes were fun and you inspired me to like learn English to open my world up. So I'm like aiming for a career that uses English and working in an airport or working in like an English-based field." And I'm like, what? That's like super dope. And so like I met up with the student and we like talked and stuff, and it was like super nice. Yeah, it really made me like think that doing the ALT thing for 2 years was worth it. Like I almost like teared up like talking to them. But yeah, went over to Osaka, did that, got dinner with the student, and walked around Osaka a little bit, just talking about like what they're thinking about, their goals are and their career and stuff like that. I gave them a little bit of advice and told them if they ever need help with anything with English or whatever, just feel free to let me know anytime, because that's like why I wanted to do what I did. Like it was so fulfilling to hear that. And then we took the bullet train back home. There's the ocean over there on the way back with the bullet train. Oh, there's me. I was sitting here, surely we get out of this tunnel. Surely we get out of this tunnel so this video can be worth something, right? Anytime now. Surely we get out of this tunnel within the next 5 seconds. We're definitely gonna get out of a tunnel, right? No, the ocean's coming soon. Just hold on. We didn't get out of the tunnel. Did you ever get out? No, I'm still stuck in that tunnel. And then I went to fuck another video, and we went into another tunnel. And I was like, okay, surely this tunnel ends. Surely this tunnel ends soon, and this is gonna be a video worth taking. And I was like, oh, thank God. We did it this time. But I just want to like show what it looks like just outside of Tokyo. It's like so countryside-y. I love just going by places like this. Oh, and then in Shibuya Station, they have like this Haikyuu display, which is super dope. I love Haikyuu. It's like one of my top animes of all time. And they had like people on the national Japanese team. There's Yuji Nishida, super famous. Ishikawa, which is super famous as well. And then compare them to their heights and stuff with the anime. So my boss, I think, yeah, basically the person who was in charge of the ALTs or the English teachers or whatever in my countryside town, she was a homie. And after my contract was up and I was looking for a job in Tokyo, going back and forth between Tokyo and my town in Ehime to job hunting, I basically stayed with her and her family like the entire time. Like they went out of their way to allow me to try to be successful in Japan. So the mom follows me on Instagram and saw that my parents were here, and then so she sent these gifts over to. They sent like a nice fan and some really nice chopsticks over to my house so I could give them to my parents. Like, bro, no one in Tokyo would do this shit. Yeah, and then after that, I think that was the last night my parents were there. So I took them to the airport. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's it on the... Oh, there's a little more. So on... after I sent off my parents to the airport. Last picture of me and my parents. To near Nezu Shrine, and I met up with Zeregs and Zoffy. And we got to see some Mikoshi. Lots of people, lots of stalls. It's at Nezu Shrine with a bridge. Some kid, like, just chilling. And then... This past... Oh my god. This was, like, before I started my diet. Look at this. It's straight up... They have these stalls called jagabata, which is straight up just potatoes and butter. You just put a full-on potato. He cuts it into pieces. And then you can slather as much butter on there as you want. Okay? So I salted it. I slathered on a bunch of butter. And then they let you have some kimchi as well. It was so good, man. Festival's nice. And then yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday we went to Chichibu, which is where Anohana is set. And then me and Zafi just walked around and did a little like pilgrimage. It was fun. They have like manhole covers that have Menma and the other characters on them now. Oh, this movie's out in theaters right now in Japan, and it's by Mappa, and it's from the director of Anohana, so I gotta go watch that at some point. Some anime clouds for your perusal. Oh, and then we ate this thing called waraji katsu, which is like a special kind of like katsu, which is like some sauce that was really, really good with some soba as well. Here's Chichibu Shrine. Oh, and then this is like super random, but this is like one of the random streets that in the first episode of Anohana, you see a character walking by, and I recognized the street, so I took a picture. Took some pictures of some dragonflies that were on a rope. And if you've seen the show, this little tunnel thing is actually in the show. So it's... You guys didn't know Anohana is my favorite anime of all time. So I took a lot of the locations and stuff. Oh, you remember this? Let's go, Podage. IRL spoilers. Yeah. Oh my god, and then if you've seen the show, you know this. If you've seen the show and you see the movie, you know this from Anohana. This is a temple. So these are basically wish boards, and every temple or every shrine kind of has them, where you write your wishes on a wish board. But they had these special Anohana wish boards here, with like Menma. Some people draw some art sometimes. With the little plaques where you can buy and write your wishes on. And I bought one, and I was sitting down at this table to do it, and I kept scratching my legs and looking down at my legs to check for more mosquitoes. And the lady inside, the nice lady inside saw that that I was like really itchy, and so she brought out like mosquito repellent and medicine to make it itch less and everything, and just gave it to me. He's like, oh, there's a lot of mosquitoes around here, take care. Yeah, and it's just one thing that like really makes me appreciate like the warmth and kindness of people. That the music fits so well. Yeah, this is the famous bridge from the show. It was under construction last year, but it got the construction finished, so we were able to go along. And then look at this view off the side of the bridge. Very, very nice.
Go.
Okay, so in the first episode, there's a scene where one of the characters sprints down this pathway next to the bridge, and it's iconic. So some people, when they make the pilgrimage here, they just do the same thing and they just sprint down the bridge. So I was like debating doing it because like I was a little tired, but I was like, alright, fuck it.
Go.
That's it. Yeah, but that was fun. I think that's almost it for iCloud Indie. It was a nice 2 weeks with my parents. I'm glad I could, reminisce with you guys, and I hope it was interesting and exciting. Thank you so much again for all the generosity